Hello, good morning. Today's flight, Boston, Montreal. Just finished the pushback. We are taking off on runway 27. Our stand was Echo 5, so the taxi route will be all the way on Alpha, left on Echo, cross 04 left, cross Mike, left on Papa, right on Delta, cross 04 right to the holding point runway 27. So the local altimeter 3026, winds is 300 at 10. So far so good. Releasing parking brakes, thrust at 30. There we go. Taxiway Alpha is identified. So we stay on Alpha and we take the second and left turn on taxiway Echo. So first a little right and then all the way till nearly the end of taxiway Alpha. Ground thrust at 25%. So here we turn right and continue on Alpha, thrust idle. So there we continue nearly till the end and we turn left on Echo. So this is Charlie on the left. So if everything is right, the next one will be Delta and the next one will be Echo. So auto brakes are on rejected takeoff. And flaps 5 are set. Rejected takeoff, flaps 5. Now this is taxiway Alpha 2. But I guess the next one will still be Echo. And anyway, that's where we turn. It's the taxiway before the last. So Echo is identified on the left. Thrust idle. And we turn left. We cross runway 4 left, so let's put some lights first. Runway turn off, strobe lights can come on. Start switches to continuous and cross 4 left. After the runway, we cross taxiway Mike. We continue straight on. So this is now taxiway Mike that we cross. Mike is there. So we do not turn here, we take the next one, and that will be left on Papa. And Papa is identified indeed. Left on Papa and then right on Delta to cross 04 right. So we cross 4 right and we turn right onto Delta. So taxiway Delta should be there. And finally, all the way down to the holding point, runway 27. Straight on Delta. And the holding point is blinking there. Thrust idle. So runway heading will be 268. And at 3 miles roughly we turn left on the heading 235. So the holding point will be for runway 27 is at the end. Crossing 33 left. Oops, that's a bump. And that's what happened to us yesterday. Oh boy, luckily it was a slow speed. There is some terrain mesh anomaly. Here we come. Holding point runway 27. So we are doing a U-turn to align with the runway. We are not landing, we are taking off.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time. We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. Ryanair. Low fares, made simple.
This is crazy. So, landing lights on. All lights on, seatbelt signs on. Align with the runway.
Comfort and safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the aircraft has come to complete stop and the captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt sign. Please refrain from smoking until it's...
Let's hope there is no bump on the runway, otherwise it will be funny again. thrust idle for the turn. Runway heading 268. That's at 50%. Takeoff power set. And again that tendency to turn to the right.
80 knots.
You see that bump.
V1, rotate.
Rotate. Pitch 5. Pitch
Positive
10.
rate.
Gear up. Flaps 2.
400.
1.5 DME. Flaps 1. Continue climb, please. And turn right. Flaps up.
1000.
Why is he climbing at 4,000 feet? I don't want that. Reduce thrust. To 50 knots. Auto throttle on. And climbing at 6,000 feet. So on this heading now, we go to Boston 246. 7.9 nautical mile. Seven power sinks is coming, and after that we do a right turn 278. 7.6 right turn 278. And that will intercept the 271 radial at 35 nautical mile. At that point we intercept the Lawrence track 058. So on this heading,
1000 to go.
we switch to Lawrence VOR 112.5, identified, and we select 058 course. And we can engage Warlock, so it will be quite a sharp turn. Well, wait and see what the Warlock will give us. So Lawrence is 31 nautical mile, increasing as we are flying away. So the needle points to our right, and the next waypoint will be Kennebunk 117.1. And after Kennebunk it will be Lebanon on 113.7. So the intersection will be the waypoint Bravo Lima Zulu Zulu Romeo. So we can now climb to flight level 320. And we can switch off the landing lights, runway turn off lights, taxi light, start switches, ignition switch to off, logo light off, wheel well off, and seatbelt signs to auto. Check the cabin altitude. Nicely increasing. Flight level 320 is set. APU bleeder can come off, and cabin temperature is now 24 degrees. So Lawrence is 36 nautical miles now, still flying away. It will be an interesting intersection. So the needle is now coming slowly. We have 2 dots deviation. We are still in heading select mode. And Vorlok is only armed. I'm waiting for increasing the speed to after the turn. Now Vorlok is indeed armed and engaged. Lawrence 40 nautical miles. Passing now 1,000 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to observe the fasten seatbelt sign until the captain has switched it off. We do recommend for your comfort and safety that you keep your seatbelt securely fastened throughout your flight. There is a call bell, reading light and fresh air vent in the panel just above your head, and we'd like to remind you that this is a strictly non-smoking flight, and all toilets are fitted with smoke detectors. We invite you to sit back, relax and enjoy your flight with us.
Auto brakes set to off and gear to the off position. It will be interesting to see. It should turn to the right, but nearly 180 degrees. So the needle is nearly centered now. That course 058, and it is indeed turning to the right. 20 degrees bank. So it will take again a 30 degrees interception. So it probably should go to 08090 all the way around. And after Lawrence, the course to Kennebunk is 042. So passing now, heading 030, still turning right. Let's see how far it will go to the right. It's now 070 already. Probably will go as much as 090. Yeah, it's leveling now. 082. 084. So 085, and the needle is already coming back. So that's 25 intercept angle. Now passing 18,000 feet, altimeter standard. Still on the 085 degrees to intercept the 058 course towards Lawrence. And we are now turning left on the course to Lawrence. We have a nice 100 knots tailwind. So our current ground speed is 420 knots, nearly 415. So it was again taking a 20 degrees left to finally settle on the 058 course. And of course we have a strong crosswind also, so the heading will be around 045. Lawrence 22 nautical mile. And at Lawrence 20 we can go to heading mode 046. Switch to Kennebunk 117.1. Adjust the course to 042 and wait for the intercept. Now of course we can increase the speed. So flaps up, gear off, auto brakes off, seatbelt signs off, altimeter standard, climbing to flight level 320, outside temperature -14, now it doesn't want to increase a lot the speed, so let's reduce the climb rate. So 1 dot deviation, and we normally intercept the new course at Lawrence VOR, which is 5 miles away. Passing flight level 260 for flight level 320. Half a dot deviation, so wait for the needle to be nearly centered and we engage Vorlock, as there is only 6 degrees to the left. And we want to avoid a crazy right turn. Okay, engage Vorlock. And it's turning left now, nicely on the 042 course towards Kennebunk. Now after Kennebunk we have to tune Lebanon 11370 and then Montpellier 110.80. Lebanon in the standby of nav1. Lebanon is tuned and identified. And we will use the 297 course to Lebanon. Kennebunk 27 nautical mile. Passing now flight level 300 for flight level 320. So 1,000 feet to go.
1,000 to go.
We are on heading 023 now, heading select mode. Switch the VOR to Lebanon 11370. Identify the VOR and change the course 297. And engage Warlock. Altitude acquired. Altitude hold, flight level 320, and we can engage vnav to increase the speed to Mach decimal 77. The needle is coming now, 2 dots deviation. Because we are nearly a 90-degree angle, with Warlock we'll have some difficulty to intercept the radial in one go, in one step. So he's doing his best, but it will be a late turn. So Lebanon 70 miles. And after Lebanon Montpellier on 110.8. The last one is Saint-Jean 115.8. Well, it's not bad when you see the intersection. The needle is nearly centered and we still have 30 degrees angle. So Lebanon 67 nautical mile. And at Lebanon we turn right on a 352. Course. So he's still doing probably a 10 degrees now intercept from the right. $15 degrees. And we are receiving the Montpellier signal 79.5 nautical mile. So heading 290, course 297, the 7 degrees are due to the wind, which is now a headwind, mostly 148 knots. So if we check the component on page 2 of the progress page, we have headwind 140 knots and the crosswind from the left 47 knots. So Lebanon 53 nautical mile, Montpellier 71. So for the descent, we are at flight level 320 times 3, so that's 96. So let's program 100 miles before Montreal. So Charlie Yankee Uniform Lima, 100 miles is the time to descend. We are for the moment at 161 nautical mile. You can also check, before doing that I will save the flight, and little nav map was our departure from runway 27, then the left turn 335 to Kira, followed by a right turn towards Blizzard, the sharp right turn, and the course towards Lawrence, a left towards Kennebunk, and then a left towards Lebanon. That's where we are at Lebanon. A right turn to Montpellier and then to Saint-Jean for the arrival in Montreal. Trudeau. So airport elevation is 117 feet. So let's check for the arrival. So airport 117 feet. The wind from active sky is 250 at 10. It's minus 15 degrees, good lord. Altimeter 3036. So runway 28, 24 right, 24 left. Let's use 24 right, which is the longest runway. For right, 11,000 feet with 237 heading. So go to the FMC now. Arrival. ILS 2 for right. We do not have a star. So let's see if what that gives. It's not too bad. Saint-Jean-Toulonnais, then Volax, and then it's nearly a right turn of 90 degrees, and then the runway. So at St. John we should be below 10,000 feet. So Lebanon 25.5 now, Montpellier 45.7. .288 on the heading. So we can plan for an auto brake 2. And at Lebanon 20 nautical mile we go to heading mode and select Montpellier on the course 352. That we see depicted here. Lebanon is here, the 352 course towards Montpellier. And so now 20 nautical mile, go to heading mode, switch to Montpellier 110.8. Montpellier identified, switch the course to 352 and engage forelock. After Montpellier we can tune Saint-Jean 115.8, and that is the last VOR before the arrival. And we see appearing on the ND the ring for the top of descent will be just at Montpellier VOR. So airport elevation was 117, so let's say we could have 150 or 100. 100 is good. We have a nice warm cabin, 24 degrees. And the course to Saint-Jean is 347. So that would be a 5 degrees left turn. Now the needle, the VOR needle of Montpellier is approaching, 2 dots. We are still on heading select mode. Warlock is armed, and we turn as Warlock is now captured. We turn right to that heading 352, minus the wind correction, of course, as we still have a strong crosswind from the left. So interestingly enough, we have an intermediate heading of 305. Now intercept the 352 course. Towards Montpellier. So Montpellier 21 nautical mile. And we are nearly on that course 352. We see the huge angle difference. Of course that is due to that 149 crosswind. As we do not get Saint-Jean VOR, we just keep Montpellier, but we just add up the course to 347. So go first to heading mode, change course 347, and switch on VOLOC. So Montpellier 12.5. Now what we can do on the approach reference page, select flaps 30 for the arrival, speed 144. Now the ILS will be 111.9 on heading 237. And the identification is India Zulu Zulu. So Montpellier 6 nautical mile. And we are approaching the 100 radius circle. So we disengage vnav, go to 250 knots on the speed, and we descend to 10,000 feet. Using 1800 feet per minute, and we are just now receiving the Saint-Jean VOR, so we go to heading mode, switch to Saint-Jean 115.8, new VOR is identified, and engage Vorlock. With a crazy right turn, and we are centered on the VOR, so I'm not sure this is really necessary. So let's have a look at the constraint. So St. John, we should be at 9,000 feet really, and 3,000 feet for Lona, which is the next waypoint, practically in the same direction, 6 degrees to the right. So let's continue the descent to 9,000 feet. The altimeter we can preset already, 3036. Three zero two 31456 3036. And we say we are going to runway 24 right, so on the fixed page we indicate runway 24 right with 3 rings, one at 4 miles, one at 10 miles, and one at 20 miles. Estimated time, Montreal 13:20 with 3.8 tons left of fuel. 20, that's 25 minutes from now. So we can also tune the ILS. So on standby frequency 111.9 both ways. And the course was 237, so we can already select that on nav 2 237. St. John is now 59 nautical mile, and we are passing flight level 250 for 9,000 feet, so that 16,000 feet in 57 nautical miles, so way more than enough. As you can also see here on the vnav path, we are nearly 3,800 feet below the path. But that is okay. So we have seen that we have a ridiculous temperature, so probably it will be a good idea to put engine and the ice on as a precaution, although there is not much cloud for the moment. You never know, it could deteriorate below 10,000 feet. So Lona is at 25 nautical miles from St. John, and then we intercept the ILS. So we go to St. John 353 radial for 25 miles, and then we should have the ILS. Now we can see also the green arc indicate the point where we will be at 9,000 feet, and that will be way before Montpellier or Saint-Jean, sorry. So we can reduce a little the descent rate. Current speed 252, that's good. So the wind is also decreased. We now have 80 knots crosswind, and as we go below it will still decrease more. So winds will be 250 at 10 knots, so it will be slightly from the right. Passing now below flight level 180, we go to altimeter 3036, and we can select seatbelt signs on. Outside temperature minus 23 degrees. So let's reduce that a little, and we can go all the way down to 3,000 feet. Saint-Jean is 26 nautical mile. We can go to heading mode and select, let's say 355, maybe a little bit better, and heading mode and VOD mode. On the radio page, we can now select the ILS on NAV2. And when we are on heading mode after Saint-Jean, we probably will tune the ILS on NAV1 and switch back the Saint-Jean on F2 to get the DME indication that we need to fly 25 nautical mile in that radial 355 before intercepting the localizer. Saint-Jean 17 nautical mile. Now here on the ND you see that the 355 radial will cut the extended runway center line just outside a 10 mile ring, but it's a kind of sharp intersection, so we will probably be turning left a little bit sooner. It should be certainly be at 3,000 feet for the turn. So passing now 11,500 for 3,000 feet, and we intercept the 355 radial from Saint-Jean towards Luna. And Luna is at 25 nautical mile after Saint-Jean. So the crosswind is now 37 knots and we are passing 10,000 feet, so we can switch on the landing lights, logo lights, wheel well light, and turn off the start ignition switches to continuous. And we can reduce the speed to 230. St. John is now 1.6 nautical mile, so the needle will switch 180 degrees as we pass the VOR. Now so on the 349 now, or 350 degrees. And passing now 7,200 feet for 3,000 feet. We are progressively reducing the speed to 180 knots. We can go to heading mode. Select the ILS on nav 1, we select Saint-Jean on vol 2 to have the DME. So we are now 4.4, change the course to 237. So landing lights on, seatbelt signs on, auto brake selected to 2, ILS tuned but not yet identified. So we have no signal from the ILS. Saint-Jean 7 nautical miles, so 18 miles to go. Passing 5,500 for 3,000 feet, speed 228, and reducing slowly. Of course it will reduce much more when we reach the 3,000 feet. 225 we could already select flaps 1. Passing 5,000 feet for 3,000 feet. Speed is now 220 knots. Saint-Jean 11.5, speed 213, speed 210, select flaps 2. Passing 4,000 feet for 3,000 feet.
1,000 to go.
Speed 200 knots, flaps 5. So the intercept angle should be on heading, let's say 267 or 270. To make it easier, we are on heading 350. You can see that we will have to do a sharp left turn of 80 degrees. So level at 3000 feet now, speed 179, auto thrust off, thrust at 56, we have some indication now. India Zulu Zulu 237, so that is the correct ILS. We have no DME, and we have the localizer on the right, and that is correct. Runway is at our right, and we will intercept from the left. Reduce a little the throttle, 55, so at 2.5 nautical miles from the extended runway center line, we turn left on heading 270. And on that heading we will intercept the ILS, hopefully around the 10 nautical mile from the runway. So speed is good, altitude is good, and it will be precisely on 270. Look at that. This is great. So engage overlock. Speed 178. And localizer is active and glide slope is alive. We intercept now the localizer. We are on the localizer. Approach mode, and we are intercepting now the glide. So reduce throttle, gear down, descending with the glide, gear down 3 green, flaps 15,
2500,
and maintain 160 knots. Thrust at 50%. Passing 2,200 feet. Passing now the 4 nautical mile ring. There is no DME on this ILS, that's interesting. So select flaps 25. Flaps 30. Runway is inside.
$1,000.
1,000 feet. Autopilot off. Continue the descent. Some more thrusts. $500 feet. A little high.
400. 300. 200.
200 feet.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And a great landing finally. Cannot believe this. Took so long.
$80 knots.
Reverse is stowed. Auto brakes off. Flight director off. And we can exit here on the left. Manual braking. 25 knots. It is probably high speed exit anyway. So, exiting the runway, landing lights off, start switches off, strobe lights off, pitot heat off, and indeed the outside temperature is minus 15. Good Lord. Let's go to the stand before watching for replay. As usually, the plane is crashing. So let's start the APU now. On. Low pressure light illuminates 1, 2, 3, 4 and AGT increasing. crossing runway 10 now. On taxiway Foxtrot to the stand. We just take the second to the left. Thrust idle. Taxi lights off. And we are on stand 6-1. Flight time 1 hour 30 minutes. Not too bad. Okay, standing still, auto parking brakes on, fugen on, bleeder on, cutting engine number 1 and cutting engine number 2, decreasing fuel pumps off. Anti-collision lights off, seatbelt signs off, IRS off, window heat off, hydraulic electric pumps off, engine bleeder off, and packs off. Now let's watch for a replay. Let's be a little bit further. Now you see the wind from the right. We have an angle with the runway. Wind is coming from the right. Now descending. Still a little high. Correcting. That's better. again high. This is now a stable descent. Trying to align with the center line. Still crabbing with the runway, but that's okay. That's how you should do it anyway. Only decrab at the last moment with some rudder input. A little bit of rudder to line the nose, and down we go. Oh, on the center line also. That was indeed very smooth. Let's see from the side. Attitude is good, flaring, round effect, this is quite nice. Okay, let's stop this replay and see if it crashes the X-plane also. Otherwise, so next episode could be, don't know yet, but maybe
25,
Montreal to
2500.
Cleveland on the way to Chicago.
2500. 2500.
And that's the end of this flight. Let's just check the exit from the replay. Waiting for the plane to stop.
20.
Now it stopped. And exit the replay. And it stays good. Good. See you next time. Bye for now.